Hello, this is JC, and today in the Book Corner, we're going to be talking about hard-boiled detective fiction. Okay, now there's a wide range of hard-boiled detective fiction of many different types. You have private investigators, police, other kinds of investigators in different times and different places. So this will be mostly 20th century American hard-boiled detectives, and instead of doing a top 5 or a top 10, I'll just talk about introductory novels where you can start and then you can go from there depending upon what you like. The first one, Dashiell Hammett, The Dane Curse, 1929. Now, Dashiell Hammett wrote 5 novels, and then he fell prey to the communist scare and the Committee for Un-American Activities, and went silent for a while. And he also struggled with writer's block. So just the 5 main novels that he had. I recommend The Dane Curse. That's the best one that I've read. Red Harvest was okay. The Glass Key I didn't care for. And The Maltese Falcon I haven't read. I imagine it's good. They turned it into at least 2 movies, maybe more. And then The Thin Man I have not read, and they turned that into a string of movies. It was its own franchise, I believe, in the 40s and 50s. But for Dashiell Hammett, I recommend The Dane Curse. And Hammett has some good advice, especially for men. Never lead with the right. Excellent advice. Okay, next we'll go to Raymond Chandler. My recommendation for Chandler is The Long Goodbye, 1953. Raymond Chandler had his detective Philip Marlowe. He was very popular. A very good film, The Big Sleep, with Humphrey Bogart. Chandler once, when he was working on a film, he was asked about who committed a murder, and he said he didn't know. That rubs me the wrong way. I think if you're an author and you write and you have things happen, then you should know what it's all about. Even if the reader doesn't know or the audience doesn't know, the author should know. So he's a bit more style over substance, and for me that's a little irritating, but I can recommend The Long Goodbye. Now the Lady in the Lake is pretty good, but my favorite of Raymond Chandler is The Long Goodbye. Now we'll go to the next author, Mickey Spillane, and his novel I, the Jury, 1947. His detective is Mike Hammer, and I believe in the late 80s, early 90s, they actually had a Mike Hammer television program in the United States. I never watched it, but the Mickey Spillane novels I enjoyed reading. Some people may not care for the endings, as they tend to end very abruptly. There is no denouement or falling action, really. It just ends abruptly. Some people may not care for it. I thought it was okay. Next, we come to Ross MacDonald. His private eye is called Lou Archer. And there are a number of novels. I haven't read them all. The one I could recommend is The Galton Case, 1959. These are pretty good mysteries. I've only read, I think, a couple of Ross MacDonald, but I'm going to read more. The detective, Lou Archer, is not not that notable, sort of just an empty protagonist. I didn't find him to be interesting at all. I think with Ross McDonald, it's about the mystery, which is fine with me. Now, one that I found to be highly rated that I'm going to read next is called The Zebra Striped Hearse. But to start with, I recommend The Galton Case. All right, lastly, we have James Ellroy. And for him, I recommend The Big Nowhere, 1988. Now, in this novel, it's police detectives, not private detectives. And the characters are interesting because many of them are flawed, even if they're the supposed good guys. They have flaws, they're not perfect. Um, and the way the mystery progresses is Elroy, lets you know what the main characters are thinking and how their way they solve the case progresses and how they change their way of thinking and what they want to do next. And that's very nice. I like that. A lot of mysteries, you say Agatha Christie or maybe Sherlock Holmes, it's just released on you right at the end, all in one big display of showmanship. But I like the fact that the police detectives are changing their thinking and progressing, and they're coming up with new ideas, new leads, a new way of thinking, and I really like that. Now with James Ellroy, he keeps it real. You know, there's a lot of people that are racially bigoted, people that are flawed, people, especially if they're the antagonists or the bad guys, they really do bad things. So it's not for the faint of heart. So that's what I have today, my recommendations for hard-boiled detective fiction. Thank you for stopping by the Book Corner with JC, and have a good day.